Captain by a hook with a red beard. Captain by a hook with a red beard.
Miggity man. Having a blast. Sorry. Just the fact that it's 2024 and I'm looking at Mike Tyson odds. It blows me away. I'm sorry. Blows me away. Uh, I will watch this fight. I will be watching the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. I don't know if I'll bet it. I don't know. I mean, plus 183 just straight up for Mike Tyson is crazy. Uh, something's got to be up. Something fishy's got to be going on here. But who knows? Who am I? Uh, Jake Paul minus 210. Wow. I mean, you got to think the longer the fight goes on, the more chance Mike Tyson has of inevitably losing. Man, Mike Tyson just gets his ass whooped. I'll just say it. Heartbreaking. It's gonna be like watching Batman die in Batman 3 against Bane. Just I don't know if I'm ready, but definitely exciting. Just can't believe you could bet on plus 183. Almost, it's got to be a trap, right? Anyway, it's Friday, baby. Beautiful week thus far. College basketball. I'm gonna recap some things last night. A few good games. Boring slate in all. Arizona State holding on against Grand Canyon to win that game. And then LSU. How about the Tigers? Looking good. Off to a 3-0 start. Um, End up beating Kansas State. Beating them pretty bad, too, as 7-point dogs actually win the game by 11. So, shout out to LSU. Looking good thus far. 4 players for them in double digits. Talk about all of that a little later. But man, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fighting about 12, 15 hours from now, tonight. Later in the show, also, we're going to preview tonight's games in college hoops. Also, got some bets for you. A lot of bets for you today. I don't know why we got blessed with such a beautiful Friday slate, but there's some good games going on tonight. I got 7 of them things for you later in the show. And then, for the first time this season, on Friday, baby, rocking and rolling, we're going to preview Saturday's games, give out the Red Beards Saturday's numbers. And if we got some time somewhere in the show, I do want to look at some futures. Although we're only 15, not even 15, although we're only 12 days into the season, numbers on these future markets have been jumping around a lot, especially when it comes to the SEC and Kentucky. I guess everybody was betting against Kentucky, and now they realized this team came to play. Wildcats looking like a serious contender line. Again, we'll get into all of that. Definitely want to talk some futures if we have the chance today for college basketball. Conference winners, Final Fours. There's actually right now 7 teams, 7 of them, tied as the favorite, quote unquote favorite, to win the championship this season. Talk about all of that. But 7 teams at plus 1200. Gonzaga, Alabama, Auburn, Kansas, Duke, Houston, and UConn all at 12-1. How about that? I don't know if I've ever seen that, no matter where we are in the season. Talk about that and what all that means. Anyway, it's Captain by a hook, baby, with the red beard. I'm Rowan Donaghy, aka Rowan Dobbs, going live on this fantastic Friday. Finally getting some cool weather down south, man. Woke up in a chilly house for the first time in a while. Felt nice. Felt good. Felt great. Anyway, Captain by a hook. Let's look at last night's action in college hoops. Only a few games to really highlight. Um, Not a lot going on. Trying to see if there's anything I missed. I doubt it. Bryant, Buffalo. Buffalo. Yikes. I thought that was the line was wrong on that one yesterday, and the person that was wrong was me. Bryant comes out 50-25 in the first half, and Buffalo never gets closer. I mean, just absolutely turkey dog whooped the whole game. Bryant is winning that 87-64. Nichols, Northern Kentucky. That game goes down to the wire 61-59. Wichita State, Northern Iowa, 2016 called. They want their round of 32 matchup back. Wichita State holds on 79-73 to move to 3-0. Uh-oh. Wichita State is another run brewing. College basketball is better when teams like that are good. Missouri, they're 3-1 on the season. 111-39 victory last night. Uh, just absolutely doing the thing. It looks like Morehead State. Looks like they're done competing. 1-3 on the season so far. Same thing with Chattanooga. They're 1-3 so far on the season. Chattanooga beats Morehead State last night to get their first victory, 76-62. Oklahoma State, they win, but they do not cover. Joked about it yesterday, them being 10.5 point favorites. They're 3-0 though. Oklahoma State is. They beat Southern Illinois 85-78. And then in man, South Dakota State couldn't get it done. They get their first loss of the season. Had them as small favorites yesterday. Gave them out. Northern Colorado ends up winning that one by 9. South Dakota State 69. Northern Colorado 78. This team's got to learn. You got to bring it in the first half. You can't come out lackadaisical. Northern Colorado, 43 points in the first half, holding South Dakota State to 33, ultimately being the difference in the game. That 10 points. New Mexico State, baby, 83-82. Talk about madness. New Mexico State 3-0 on the season. UNLV, the running Rebels of Las Vegas, they're 2-1 after an 80-69 win over Omaha. Now the big games. Grand Canyon, Arizona State, in-state, I don't want to say rivalry, classic. About 15, 12, 20 minutes between these campuses at best. Grand Canyon Lopes taking on Arizona State Sun Devils. Arizona State, home dogs yesterday, plus 5.5 at home. They end up winning outright by 11. Putting it on Grand Canyon and GCU. Arizona State, they're 3-1 on the season. That one loss being to Gonzaga. That one loss being by 8 to Gonzaga. Bobby Hurley is sick of the disrespect. Bobby Hurley and this Arizona State Sun Devils basketball program, I think they're here for a good time and a long time. 87-76. This thing was 41-40 at the half, and then Arizona State just 10-point swing in the second half, 46-36. Arizona State winning not winning. Arizona State actually lost the rebound battle, won the assist battle. Both teams turned the ball over 15 times. But man, how about Josan Sanan? Josan Sanan. He had 21 points. High point man for both teams. But he led Arizona State. ASU's 3-1. Shout out to them. Shout out to the Sun Devils getting things popping. In the battle of the Purples, the Tigers, the Wildcats, Battle of the Beast. If you remember from yesterday, we gave out LSU plus 7.5. Should have gave out the money line. LSU 11-point win. LSU, the Tigers, are now 3-0 on the season, and they are rocking and rolling. Cam Carter, he led the way last night with 20 points, and then you had two players, Jordan Sears and Victorious Miller, both had 15. Shout out to the Tigers, man. Going on the road and getting it done. They go into the halftime with a 12-point lead, and again, that is the difference in the game. First half, hooping. First half, hooping. Kansas State's got a lot of talent, man, but from the transfer portal, it looks like they grabbed a bunch of players from teams last year that were like selfish, lazy, dramatic. Gonna be a little while, if ever, this Kansas State team gels and trusts each other. Losing to LSU should be eye opening for them though. LSU 3-0. Shout out to the Tigers. Shout out to SEC basketball, man. Big Ten, Big East. Basketball is coming down south, bro. Big 12 and the SEC, especially with the new alignment, is going to be running college basketball for the formidable future. Speaking of futures, I got a little bit of time right here. Um, Probably the next 5 minutes. Talk futures in college basketball. Before I preview tonight, again later in the show, giving out Saturday's plays as well, Saturday's numbers, if you will. I'll explain that later. Again, I try to explain at the beginning of every year, and then you either got to catch on, get with it, or get lost. Man, some good Joe. Good cup of Joe. But, I mean, pretty simple. I give you Saturday's numbers from my numbers. You take the book's numbers. You bet the damn difference. But looking at these futures right now, right here on Captain by a hook, baby, we got Connecticut, Houston, Duke, Kansas, Auburn, Alabama, and Gonzaga. All of these teams are 12-1. All of these teams as favorites to win it. Now, I think the favorite should be Connecticut, and the second favorite should be Kentucky. Let's say 11-1 Connecticut, 12-1 Kentucky, and everybody else 15-1 or longer. Kansas, I could see it, I guess. Duke just showed us why they shouldn't be. I don't know. Huge game for Alabama tonight. They're taking on Purdue. That's going to be a fun one. It's actually the best bet of the day is in that game, Alabama, Purdue. Um, and it ain't Purdue. Talking noise for me and my boys. But right now, honestly, man, if I had to make a bet on who would I think could win it all this year, it's either Kentucky or Connecticut. Kentucky's 25-1. Tuesday I talked about this and they were 40-1. So, and that's going to be a common theme here. Kentucky 18-1 to win the SEC, now down to 13-1. 950. They were 950 to make it to the Final Four. Now they are plus 500, and the 4,000 to win it all is now 25-1. All because they beat Duke on a neutral site game, which is what these numbers do. They go crazy and they fluctuate. I'm sure there's a team down here that's yet to have that game. And once they have that game, I mean, I'm surprised Michigan State didn't bump up after they played Kansas bucket for bucket, basically, for 35 minutes out of the 40 minutes on the floor. But man, exciting time right now in college basketball. Everything is still wide open. Let's look at some of these power conference numbers real quick in this futures market. Look at the ACC. Duke is minus 105, North Carolina plus 380, and then a huge drop to Clemson 12 to 1, Wake Forest 12 to 1. Pretty much what we saw before the season. Although it was like Duke plus 175, plus 150, North Carolina plus 400. Duke losing Kentucky, I don't know how much weight you want to put on it. It shows if they don't fix some things, what their problems could be. But I think they're going to fix it. I don't think you'll ever see Cooper Flag with 2 turnovers back to back again in a row with a chance to win the game. But then again, maybe you do. Maybe this kid chokes. Who knows? I don't know. Played an excellent, fabulous game and just have 2 bad plays. I'm going to give the kid a pass. As I talked about yesterday, definitely not blaming that on him. Whole team is should be blamed. He just had 2 bad plays that were the exclamation point. North Carolina, they can play with him. They will play with him. There's teams like Wake Forest, Miami, even down lower in the list. I mean, Virginia, you gotta look at them. Gotta show love to them. They have a big game tonight against Villanova. ACC is pretty short though. I don't think there's anybody past Virginia on the list, and even Pittsburgh, Virginia, Miami, Clemson. I mean, it's gonna be Duke, North Carolina, and I'm gonna stick by that all season. Um, I think Duke's properly placed at minus 105. Gonna be the best you're gonna get all season if you're looking to bet them. In the Big Ten, man, this stuff just jumbled up and is moving around. A week ago before the season, we talked about taking Michigan at 12 to 1. They're now plus 850. Still like Rutgers. They're at 12 to 1 now. They moved down a little bit. But man, I don't know what's going on with Ace Bailey. It is presidential election news, if you will, how the Rutgers is playing this Ace Bailey stuff. They're not letting anything leak. They're not telling you what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows, excuse me, when he's coming back, if he's coming back. Very alarming, if you ask me. But then again, usually I say stuff like that, and then he's back the next game and plays the perfect full season, no problems. But definitely alarming right now. We don't know what the hell is going on with Ace Bailey over there for Rutgers. UCLA being 12 to 1 is a joke, and move them down with the Penn State and Washingtons. Mick Cronin got to do better. But Michigan, still one of the teams that stand out to me. After Michigan State played against Kansas, bucket for bucket, they definitely should get some love. They're 8 to 1. Haven't really seen Illinois against a true test. We get Ohio State tonight against Texas A&M. Ohio State, remember, already beat Texas, so definitely got to put some respect on their name right now. They're the second favorite at plus 600. Big 12, Houston, they jumped to the top even after losing to Auburn. Kansas was the top. I don't know why that flip-flopped or drops. But again, all 5 of these top teams, I think you can go with either one of them. Nothing's really moved too much. You got Arizona, Baylor, Iowa State, Kansas, Houston. I think all 5 of those teams are good bets. Just try and get the best numbers you can. Right now, I would take Arizona and Baylor. This was my advice before the season. Both of those were 850. They're now 950. Still jump on those right now while you can. Um, it'll probably be some things that fluctuate, and you might can get Kansas at 7 to 1 in a month. Iowa State might drop. Houston, again, I don't know why they're the favorite right now. I mean, you got to beat Auburn at home. Big East, nothing really changed there. Seen some of these teams, haven't seen much. If anything, I don't know. Maybe this is the time to jump on Xavier or Marquette at 850 and 600. And then the SEC, this is where things get the most interesting. Kentucky, they're the best team in this conference to me. You can still get them right now at a beautiful price. They're 13 to 1. They were 18 to 1 before they beat Duke. So 13 to 1, you're not getting the 18 to 1, but 13 to 1 is still a beautiful number, especially when you think about this thing being down to 600, 400, 500 in a week to maybe a month. Auburn's plus 220, Alabama's plus 220. That's your two favorites in the SEC, and then you got Tennessee. Definitely think Kentucky's better than Tennessee, and I could argue Kentucky's better than Auburn and Alabama. Of course, they'll have to prove it when they play them, but that's something I'm willing to bet on. You're basically telling me you can get Kentucky money line against Auburn, money line against Alabama, 13 to 1 right now. And I'll say, give it to me, baby, nice and slow. Still do like the Old Miss as long shots at 32 to 1. Still like Texas at 25 to 1. But Kentucky, second best team in the country to me, best team in the SEC for sure. Arkansas, they got a lot to learn. Maybe they get right by March, maybe not. Alabama, cannot wait to see what they do tonight against Purdue. Auburn, we saw what they can do against Houston. Definitely scary, but at plus 220, I'm going to hope they have a bad week or two and maybe try and jump on them at 6-1. But man, uh, it's been a blast these first 15 days of college hoops. And on the fourth day of college hoops, I don't know what day it is, but I cannot believe at the slate of games we get tonight. I got 7 bets for you. I hate having that many bets because you're almost guaranteed to break even, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It can't go too bad, can it? Go 4-3, you won something. 5-2, you're a winner. 3-4, shut the door. 2-5, you wish you wasn't alive. I'm kidding, people. This is a morning show. Let's preview tonight's action, though, before I give out those 7 bets. Let's look elsewhere, see if there's any other games we are looking for. Anything else? Any leans? Any thoughts? Any edges? TCU, Texas Christian University, the Horned Frogs of TCU. They're taking on Michigan University. Michigan played one of the worst games they'll probably play all season against Wake Forest on Sunday. Still almost won the game. But lordy, lordy, who shot Shorty? You got to believe Michigan's going to play better than that tonight. 8.5, though. I am not willing to lay that. I'm not willing to bet 8.5 to see if they play better tonight. But as a fan, I do want to see them play better. Just a horrible game all around, shooting wise, turnover wise, whichever way you want to look at it against Wake Forest. And again, still almost won. I like Michigan in the game outright. 8.5 is a little big. I think this number should be 3.5 to 5. Anything over 5. And I don't want to take TCU because I'm a Michigan fan, so I'm a root for Michigan. But I think the 8.5 is too big. So I guess what I'm getting at, if you could read between the lines, TCU plus 8.5 might be a good play for some of those out there. Rutgers. I believe this number was 19.5 this morning. It's now 21.5. I'm not sure if that's because news of Ace Bailey playing came out. Probably not. I mean, this kid, again, one of the biggest secrets in college basketball is what the hell is going on with Ace Bailey right now. Maybe I'm trying to get an answer for you in a second. But Rutgers, liked it at 19.5. Like it a little less at 21.5. I'm staying away from it right now because I don't know what the hell's going on with Ace Bailey. Bet Rutgers the first 2 games. We're 1-1 on the season with them. They're 1-1 ATS. So yeah, 21.5 is a little big for me, but I do like Rutgers. Love Rutgers this season. Think they're going to be a team to be reckoned with. Cincinnati 25.5 against Nichols. Definitely could see Cincinnati winning this thing by 30. Um, but again, I got 7 bets, so why make it 8? But why not make it 8? Minus 25.5. Definitely comfortable with that with Cincinnati. But I think that's right around the number where it's stay away from me. 25 for some teams. It's like I said yesterday with UConn at 35. Like, all right, I'll lay the 33. I'll lay the 34. I'm not comfortable laying the 35. I'm not comfortable here laying the 25 with Cincinnati. And hey, I'm pretty sure UConn covered the 37 or whatever it was. I think they won by 39. Uh, Cincinnati could easily win this thing by 30, but I'm gonna stay away just because the number of 25 is a little big for me personally. Love Princeton at 3.5 against Loyola Chicago. Um, if I didn't have 7 bets already, Princeton minus 3.5 would definitely be a play for me. Loyola Chicago, I'm not really seeing anything special from them thus far. Princeton, they're looking to fight for that Ivy League for another year. So definitely like Princeton. I think Princeton's the better team here fundamentally. It's just all about scoring. Can Princeton get the ball in the bucket? Total seems a little high at 147. Think this thing sits around 138. But Princeton minus 3.5. Definitely a look that I like. Butler, SMU. This game is basically a pick 'em, and I agree. Um, I couldn't argue with you if you told me you was going to bet any team on here. I would just smile and say it's going to be a good one because Butler or SMU, either one of these teams can come out with it. No point of betting the game, in my opinion. I don't have a true edge in. Same thing with Temple and Boston College, minus 110 both ways on the money line. And again, either team, I definitely agree, can win. Air Force plus 3.5 taking on Belmont. That's going to be a fun one. No dog in that fight, no lean in that fight, but it will be a fun game to watch. If you're flipping through channels, might as well throw that one on for a minute or two. Get some good basketball in your life. Get some good basketball up in your life. Speaking of dogs, are you speaking of dogs? I am. Tulane, the Green Wave, they're plus 3.5 tonight on the road taking on Furman. I like Tulane. I like what I've seen from them the first few games. I think they go on the road tonight and get the win. They're plus 152 on the money line. Take a shot with Tulane if you want to have a wild, wild ride. That'll be a fun one at 6 o'clock. Tulane taking on Furman. Vermont, Iona. Can't call it. I don't know if Vermont's as good as they should be, or as good as people think they are. I don't know if Iona's as good as people. You get the picture. Both of these teams, historic names. I don't know if this season is the season to make any plays on either one of these teams. Penn State, Virginia Tech, kind of the same way for me. I think this should be more of a pick 'em. I do think the 5.5 is a little big on Penn State, which makes me lean Virginia Tech. However, rather just stay away from this one and probably won't even. I'll check the scores at midnight and be like, oh, Penn State won by 3 or whatever. Whoever won had to wet the whistle. Georgia, Georgia Tech. This game will be a blast. I think Georgia Tech has the advantage coaching wise. Georgia has the advantage on the court. Minus 122 on the money line for Georgia, minus 1.5 points favorites. You can get Georgia Tech plus 102. I would lean Georgia Tech just based off of coaching. But again, I'm not betting this game, staying away. We are just previewing games right now. This is Captain by a Hook, baby. You get North Carolina minus 24.5. Why the hell not? Last time we saw this team, they were battling out with Kansas. Now here's a little fun game for y'all to just go win by 30. Definitely could see North Carolina covering easily. I'm staying away just because, again, a lot of games. When I got 7 bets, I'm trying to figure out how to. I want to cash out 3 or 4 of these things. Like I want to just be around the 4 or 5 bets a day mark. 7 bets. I mean, in my opinion, you're just asking for a break even day. Unless you go 6-1, which always possible, always possible. I mean, it would be a great cap off to this week. 3, 5, 6, 6-3 on the week. So 6-1 would put 12-4. It would just be astronomical week. So That'll be bananas. Knock on some damn wood. West Virginia, Pittsburgh. I think West Virginia hangs in this one. I think West Virginia's dangerous to win it, but hey, I might just be reminiscing on the Bob Huggins era. Still can't get it out of my head that he don't coach West Virginia. But West Virginia and Pitt is gonna be a damn good one tonight. Ohio, Memphis. Memphis, 12.5 point favorites. They're gonna have to prove it to me that they can play as big favorites and cover. Both games they played in, they've been pick 'em or a dog, and they've been down, and then they come back and win. So you go down early as 12.5 point favorites. It's hard to not only come back and win, but come back and cover. So I'm gonna stay away from that one for those reasons. Washington State, Iowa. This is the battle of offense versus defense. Washington State defensively strong, defensively minded. Iowa offensively minded. Total 170 and a hook. This thing is looking to be a shootout. Anytime you see a total of 170, sheesh, that just tells me to stay away from the game, period. Iowa is 4.5 point favorites, which I agree with. Washington State is a little brother version of Iowa. Um, but I can see Washington State upsetting them still. Wouldn't be safe. Well, don't feel safe betting Iowa. I'll just say that. So in that reason, there, I'm going to stay away. I feel like I'm doing a dating show, and for that reason, I'm going to say no. Gonzaga minus 24 on a hook. How can you not? They're taking on a team called UMass Lowell. UMass Lowell. Give me Gonzaga minus 24 on a hook, right? How could you not? Couldn't be mad at you for doing so. Again, maybe and this is the problem when you have 20 games you want to bet, you only bet seven. Uh, I could pick the wrong seven. The other day, a lot of the games I was leaning on and previewing ended up hitting, and I wish I would have bet more. UCLA, the mighty Bruins, show me something tonight, please. 22.5 point favorites. Win this thing by 40, bro. Come on, Mick. Cronin. I know you're in there still. Get your squad motivated, baby. Anyway, huge slate of college hoops. That's just the games I'm previewing. Now let's have some real fun and talk about some bets, baby. Let's jump into it. Captain by a hook. I'm Rowan Donaghy, aka Rowan Dobbs. How you love that? This one's gonna be a fun one. The first one, 4 o'clock tip-off Central Time. Villanova is hosting Virginia. Villanova, 4.5 point favorites. Villanova. I think this is the game where everything blows up. Villanova's this close to everything blowing up. The top on the thing is like teetering. It's tatering. It's kaboom. Virginia money line plus 160. It just moved to plus 158. Virginia money line plus 160, plus 158. Get it where you can get it. Virginia plus 4.5 too. Obviously, I love it if I'm giving out the money line. But Virginia on the money line, first bet of the night. Villanova, hell to the no. This Virginia team is underrated, probably because of the coaching change. But I love what this new coach is doing. I love what I'm seeing from Virginia. I think they handle this game and win it outright. And I am putting probably way too much emphasis on Virginia's performance against Campbell into this handicap. Moving on, baby. We get in Florida fight. Feisty Florida fight. How many F words on a Friday can you choose to explain this one? Florida. They're taking on Florida State. Oh, I love these type of games. Some preseason action, baby. Uh, two in-state schools. Gonna be some beef. Gonna be an elbow or two thrown. Give me the Florida Gators. I like them tonight as 5.5 point favorites going on the road, taking on Florida State. We're gonna go the Gators. Florida minus the 5.5. I like this game up to 6.5. 7 will probably be my limit to not bet it. Florida State, I just think they're gonna lack the talent. They're going to show some fight, but I think eventually they're going to go cold and Florida's not. And we're going to see the game kind of open up there for Florida, take a 8 to 10 point lead and kind of ride that thing on out. I think they covered a 5.5 comfortably. I'm not going to say easily, but I don't think you're sweating out free throws or a last second three on this one. Give me Florida minus the 5 and heck, 5.5, 5.5, baby. Let's go down. This is a fun one right here. This is going to be a game most people don't want to bet. I'm betting it. Give me Charleston, College of Charleston. Return of the Mac. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Charleston, baby. College of Charleston. Minus 120 on the money line. They're taking on Florida Atlantic. Give me College of Charleston. Florida Atlantic still has a few pieces from the Dusty May era, and they're still trying to make some noise. But College of Charleston, they're building something brand new. One momentum's going out the door, and one is rising. Give me College of Charleston and the return of the Mac minus 120 on the money line. I told you it's a fun one, and you ain't going to want to do it. Another one you probably don't want to do. Let's go. Battle of the M's. We got Maryland taking on Marquette. Marquette, slight dogs in this one, plus 106. I love Marquette in this spot. Maryland, don't have to prove me wrong. Give me Marquette on the money line, plus 106, baby. I like it. I love it. Wish it was plus 300. Still take Marquette. Love Marquette in this spot. Love Marquette in this game. We're going Marquette on the money line. Then go to some late games. We got some late game action in the Big 12, Big 10. Oh, baby. Arizona, Wisconsin. Mwah. Beauty. Ohio State, Texas A&M. This is what Multiview was made for. Also, you got Gonzaga going on in this time slot. I mean, you got some damn games going on. But let's talk Arizona, Wisconsin here. Arizona minus 4.5 feels disrespectful. Why? Because it is. Arizona by double digits. Give me Arizona minus the 4.5. Almost my best bet of the day. But I damn sure love the Wildcats of Arizona. I think Wisconsin keeps it close for a while, but not a long while. Give me Arizona minus the 4.5 against Wisconsin. And then in the, I was about to say later game, but both of these games start at the same time. Ohio State taking on Texas A&M. Saw Ohio State beat Texas outright. I think Ohio State's underrated, and this number shows it. Plus 5.5. Hell to the no. Give me Ohio State plus the 5.5. I think this game is last second shot related, which means ain't no 6 point shots in basketball. I think this is a 2 or 3 point game. Either way it goes, definitely wouldn't be surprised to see Ohio State pull off a 72-71 type victory, 70-69 type victory. Ohio State plus the 5.5, baby. And now, I got to give it to you. We got to have it coming. It is the best bet of the day. I need somebody, anybody, hit me with the horn. Franklin, Earl, Beardwinaton. Right here rocking with you with the best bet of the day. Looks like the red beard gave you 6 of them, huh? Feeling good about yourself, huh? Well, let me give you the best bet of the day. Purdue hosting Alabama. Purdue still trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do without their big man. Purdue, still trying to figure out what the hell they gonna do. Period. Alabama, -2.5. It's Friday's best bet of the day from Franklin Earl. Beardwinaton, again, Alabama, minus the 2.5 as the best bet of the damn day. I'll recap all these bets in a minute. But first, let's give out this Saturday slate. Right here on Captain by a Hook, baby. Saturday slates of college basketball numbers. Of course, per usual, if you watch the show, you know I didn't write down the opponents like a folio. It gives me time right now to explain this a little bit. This is Saturday's numbers. This is my numbers. It's 7 o'clock in the morning Friday. No numbers are out. No numbers are projected. You take my numbers. You write them the F down. You take the numbers that come out tomorrow morning. You write them next to my numbers. And if you trust me, you just bet the damn difference. You ain't got to bet all of these. I'll probably bet 3, maybe 4 of them. But for instance, Syracuse -4. If it comes out and Syracuse is -2, well, that's a bet. If it comes out Syracuse -6, just stay the hell away from that one. So let's start this thing off. Saturday, first time this season, Saturday's numbers, we're going to go Syracuse -4. They're taking on Youngstown State. Syracuse struggled to win against two opponents like this. So -4 would be my cap there. Don't go anything over -5. Michigan State, they're taking on Bowling Green. Give me Michigan State -18. I think it's good anywhere up to -19 in the hook. I would be weary going into the 20s on this one. Duke taking on Wofford. Give me Duke trying to bounce back. I think they come out extra crisp. -26.5 for Duke taking on Wofford. And then we got a fun one between Xavier and Wake Forest. I think any one of these teams could, honestly, this is a pick 'em, bro. I cannot wait to watch this game. Wake Forest is definitely live to win it. I'll take Xavier at home just because they're at home. Give me Xavier -1.5. But I do like Wake Forest outright to win this thing. This will be a game. Sheesh. This will be a fun one. This will be a damn good, fun one right there. Speaking of a fun one, Notre Dame taking on Georgetown. You know the saying around here, fade Georgetown. We're going to go Notre Dame 7.5. Notre Dame -7.5 taking on Georgetown. Notre Dame, I think they win this one by double digits. 7.5 though is the number I like on it. Notre Dame -7.5. Indiana, they're taking on South Carolina. This is going to be another fun one. A little Big Ten SEC action here. Let's go Indiana -3.5 at home. Get that home crowd into it. Mike Woodson looking to get his boys hyped up and ready. Let's go Indiana -3.5. Oh, the Mississippi. They're taking on Colorado State. Both of these teams trying to get to 4-0. Give me Ole Miss -4.5 at home in South Haven, Mississippi. Ole Miss -4.5 over Colorado State. And then we got Texas, the Longhorns. Yale, Minnesota is going to be a fun game too. It kind of lean Yale. Just it's hard to bet against Minnesota twice in 1 week. Texas taking on Mississippi Valley State. Give me Texas -24 in the hook. And then for the last number for Saturday, let's go Kansas -27.5, baby. How you love that? Captain by a hook. Man, geeked up and ready to roll, baby. Anyway, Let's recap these bets before we get the heck on up out of here. Bets for tonight's college basketball. It's Friday, the 15th of November. We're going to go Virginia on the money line, taking on Villanova. That's plus 160. We're going to go Florida minus 5.5 on the road at Florida State. Florida minus the 5.5. College of Charleston and the return of the Mac. Give me College of Charleston minus 120 taking on Florida Atlantic. Maryland, Marquette. Give me Marquette at plus 106. Marquette on the money line to beat Maryland tonight. And then give me Arizona minus 4.5 taking on Wisconsin. Arizona by double digits. I like it. Minus 4.5 feels way too low. And then Ohio State plus 5.5. I think Ohio State comes out of this 2-0 against Texas teams in the last week. But either way you shake it, I think this game is going to be a one possession game plus the 5.5 on Ohio State. And then Franklin, Earl, Beard, Winneton's best bet of the damn day. We're going to go Alabama. Alabama minus 2.5 taking on Purdue. Again, that's Virginia money line. Florida minus 5.5. College of Charleston money line. Marquette money line. Arizona minus 4.5. Ohio State plus 5.5. And the best bet of the day, Alabama minus 2 and a hook. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the love. And thank you for the support. This is Captain by a Hook with the red beard. I'm Rowan Donaghy, aka Rowan Dobbs, going live on a fantastic Friday. Please take all these wagers at your own risk. And please, please gamble responsibly. Dobbs.